For all you guys out there, if you're hitting 40 and you're considering the military, well, today is the day. This is your sign. Take your paperwork and see how far you guys can push. I'm Faraon. This is Paradise. My brother Grizzly, and our guest Pacheco.
My name is Pacheco. I'm in the Navy. I'm here to talk about what it's like to join the Navy at such a high age, almost reaching the cap level.
Right. So, from my understanding, there is age limit. What is that?
The age limit just went up. I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, to 41. It was at 35.
It was at 35. So you got in there right after that changed?
Right after that changed, I went in to the recruiting station, and I was in my high 30s already. And I was over the original cap limit already for sure.
Right.
And went in.
So give us a little bit about life before that decision was made. Like, give us, it's like obviously it's not something, or maybe it is, I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not something very common for you to join a military branch so late in life. What came before that for you? Like, what? In other words, why did it take so long for you to make that decision?
It didn't take long to make that decision. I wanted to join at 18 years old, but I wanted to join the Air Force. But because I was already married at that time, and my wife at that time not married, I married at 21, but the same person. Her at that time wasn't supportive through that decision, so I couldn't actually join. But I did do the MEPS situation. I actually went almost all the way through to the point where I just couldn't leave.
You went through the whole process, but didn't actually sign a contract.
Yeah, I didn't actually sign the contract at the end. I was just going to leave and just call her and be like, hey, guess what? But
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm gone for 20 years. But
I think there's a lot of people, or there's a lot of men, including myself, when we're at our high 30s, that we consider joining the military for X purpose, And that's one thing I want to know. Like, what is it like from step one, or the process that you had to go to already at your late 30s to qualify for the military?
It was a little bit harder than I would think. It's definitely a young man's game, but it was more difficult because the paperwork you got to provide to not just MEPS, to your recruiting station, you got to provide a lot of data, like all your work history, everything that you've been through, and that you're in your late 30s, you've been through a lot of stuff, and they pull your record, and it's very hard to be clean at late 30s enough to join the military. I was though. And
what are things that can disqualify you in the process?
There's medical things that can disqualify you, and there's certain charges that can disqualify you. I did see a lot of people that got a lot of stuff waived. I don't know exactly what things got waived, but definitely some medical things we had to go through. I had migraines, and those had to get waived, and those took like 6 months just to get those waived.
Okay, so then tell us your experience then. I'll say one day you woke up and you said, I'm gonna go check it out. and did they hook you right there when you went in there? Or you actually went full blown, decided I'm joining the military and this is what I wanna do now?
So I mainly was talking I work for a government in Washington State. I was talking to a government employee, and he's for a mail office, and they had this program, right, that they went through, and he was telling me everything that he did and how he's in the reserves and certain benefits that he gets, and I'm not sure what I can disclose from my current position, so I'm gonna skip some of that part. But I know I went into the recruiting station after having that conversation with him. I kind of thought about it. Went to the recruiting station and said, I'm just going to go as far as I can go. I'm going to go to the office. If they tell me to go home, I'm just going to go home. But at least I'm going to just see what happens. So I went to the recruiting office, and I already knew all the paperwork that I had to put in because I've done it before. So I got my certificates. I got all the paperwork, all the requirements. And I went in. I'm like, hey, I want to sign up for the military. Gave him all my stuff. And he's like, I'm going to need you to bring your social, bring your passport, bring your ID, bring this, bring that. And I was like, here it is. I have it here. Like that guy.
You weren't prepared.
Yeah, I went prepared. Like I was like, shit. So obviously going as a reserve for a recruiter, it doesn't count the same as an active duty. Like it doesn't count towards his record. So it wasn't like something he was just jumping out of joy for. So I had to like kind of press a little bit more on that, but it actually did happen. But my first thought was like, I'm just gonna go as far as I can go. Went in, gave him all my paperwork. He said, I'm gonna look into it. Later on that night, he called me and he's like, can you go to MEP station on Tuesday?
Without an aspect?
I didn't know if that was the ASVAB. He just,
okay.
It was a short phone call. He said, can you go Tuesday? And I was like, yes, I can. It was Monday. So
Dancing one day after another.
So I was like, I'm gonna go as far as I can go with it. I'm gonna go to MEPS. It was a 2-day process. They put you in the hotel and then you do the ASVAB. I think the ASVAB was on the first day, and then all the medical stuff on the second day, or vice versa.
Oh, okay. So they do everything back to back.
Yeah, 2 different days. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. So you spend 2 days doing that. So that's why they put you in a hotel. And there's people that are ready to ship out, that they've already gone through that process. They're in a hotel and they're ready to leave. And there's people that are doing the same process that I'm doing.
Okay.
So I hear the process and you know the steps or whatever, bro. But I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I want to hear the why. Why did you make the decision? I mean, I get the, you know, trying to see once you're already in the process, trying to see how far you could take it. But why was the decision taken in the first place?
There's certain benefits that I get from being a government employee and also working in the reserves for the government, for the federal government. There's some benefits about that. Also, like retirement and certain benefits that you also get with the military. You know, active duty gets definitely a lot more. You get a lot more benefits than reserves.
Right.
Reserves have like very, very watered down benefits, but there's things that reserves can do to actually get close, very close to all those benefits.
Right.
You know, talking about the VA loan and my thought of like buying multiple houses with that VA loan, and also GI Bill, you know, passing that along to my son. There is so many benefits of actually joining the military.
Did they offer you a bonus to join?
They did offer me a bonus.
Sorry.
All reserves at the time where I signed up, all reserves got a 20K bonus.
Okay.
I don't know what it is right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's bonuses. Like I know the Navy. I don't know if the Army actually entices anybody with a bonus, or the Marines. The Marines that I met in my school and the Army guys, they never got bonuses. And there is some Navy rates, which is air rates, MOS jobs. So their positions, some of them didn't offer them bonuses.
Nice.
I had like for a reserve, I think it was pretty high.
Nice. Yeah, 20 definitely will do the trick for me.
That's enticing for sure.
Yeah. What was the hiccup, man, in the process, in the paperwork process, before you actually got sworn in? What was the hiccup to get to that point? I mean, you were as far as you can go. Do you had a hiccup in between where you were like, oh, I had to make this happen? And
There was many hiccups. There was many. Like it's not just I went in like and everything was flowers. So it was a lot of hiccups. Like from the MEPS day, they were like, "This is ASVAB day." I didn't even prepare for that. I was not prepared. I didn't even know. Like recruiters.
Prepared for what?
ASVAB. It's like
What's that?
ASVAB is a test that you take. Tests all your knowledge in different levels.
like science, mechanical,
Yeah.
Okay.
math.
Electricity, all that stuff.
So it's
Shades.
basically like an assessment test to see where where they can place you. Like you know.
What jobs you're gonna qualify for in the specific rate or MOS that you're gonna
Depending on your ASVAB score and your what was the other one? The other one is the psychological one. Is that what it's called? What do they call it?
I forgot what the other one's called.
Well, based on your ASVAB and your psychological, then they add those together, and it's based on the job offers you could get.
And also in the MEPS they do multiple tests They do vision tests. They do hearing tests. They do everything that has to do with your health. So for me, at least, my peripherals weren't the greatest, so I couldn't qualify for any aviation rates. So everything kind of takes into account into whatever job they're going to place you in. There's also a minimum requirement for that ASVAB score, which I think it was 35 at the moment where I joined. It was a 35.
So how'd you do?
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
I did pretty good.
So so 35 is the minimum. Like what's the perfect score?
Probably like a 99, 100. You get those, you get over a 92, you're like a god. You can get whatever.
So what you get?
I got a pretty good score. I don't know if I could disclose that. I'm not sure.
You're not sure if you could disclose your score?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can disclose any information of my personal stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I'm not 100% sure.
So we have to take your word for it.
If I could look into it, I could Google it.
Leave it on the comments. Leave it on the comments. I mean,
Yeah,
we
I'll
know
look in
you
the
got
comments,
you got an important job in there, which is not everybody could get because you got to be smart enough to do them. But
you can't disclose what you do.
you can't
either,
disclose what you
man.
do.
Yeah, I'm in the intelligence field. I'm not sure if I can disclose the job. I'm getting a no on that side. But yeah, I'm not sure if I can disclose it. But I am in the intelligence field. So intelligence field is anything like computer related and computer science and stuff like that.
So just for you guys know out there, he just got a nod off camera. We do have government officials here, but we can't go too much into details. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the process in general. So I mean, the testing and all that. What comes next after that?
What comes next after the ASVAB?
After your contract. Well, let's say, okay, you got your contract offer, and then boom, we're getting ready to get set out to boot camp. Okay. Tell us. So, how do you prepare for boot camp? How was your first day in boot camp and the whole process, man? How was it for you?
I imagine if you're not ready for the mental test, the physical test were I mean, something that most people don't go in physical shape, or do people get like a window to prepare for that?
Considering that 18 and late 30s, when it comes to
right,
exercising
has a lot to do.
Has a lot of advantage, right?
An 18-year-old could get out of bed and do a boot camp, where a 38-year-old is going to be a lot more difficult.
Right.
It's important to say that, for anybody that wants to join the military in their late 30s, passing 35, getting close to that cap, what I had to go through, I definitely had a lot of hiccups within my health, that whatever was popping up, anything that you go to the doctor for, they find out. Like if you ever had asthma at one point when you were like 10, they find out and they can disqualify you for that, because they're not gonna want to be held accountable for you having asthma there, and then they pretty much have to make waivers for certain things, and I'm not sure what they don't waive. So if you are thinking of joining the military, definitely don't go to the doctor for like anything that can disqualify you, that you might think might disqualify you. For me, it was my migraines that kind of like were killing my process. It took about 8 months just on my medical. It took another 2 months off of other stuff. So yeah, it was definitely
so the whole process was almost a year for you.
Almost a year trying to get in. But I was like every single day I would get that call saying, hey, MEPS disqualified you, but we can do this. Hey, MEPS disqualified you, but we can do that. I would go and do it, and I just thought, hey, I'm just going to go as far as I can until they say, hey, I'm not going to. I thought that I wasn't going to get in. I thought I was just going to say I tried the most I could.
Okay.
To the point when I signed the contract.
Okay.
Was there ever anything in you like, I hope I don't pass?
At one point, once you saw your foot inside?
No, because at that...
Like you had your heart set on joining?
No, I was neutral. I was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I know that I tried. Like right. I had my last chance to do it, and I know I tried enough to where I'm satisfied with myself.
Got you. So it was something that like, you did want to do. You put your best effort into it, but you were okay if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Got
exactly.
you.
That's perfectly said, actually.
All right, so tell us. Shipping day, man. You're getting ready to get shipped out to boot camp. How do you prepare yourself for that?
Mentally, I had to kind of disconnect.
So there was a mental disconnect.
So I had my family fly over. I had my girlfriend that I was leaving behind for, I didn't know how long, because my school took like, it was from 5 months to like, it could have gone to like 12 months.
Okay.
So it was, I knew I was going to spend a lot of time without her, and she was very supportive, but she was very sad about it. So having a full, stable, supportive relationship was definitely something difficult. Had my sister go out, had my mom. Everybody was there to send me off. That was definitely the most difficult part.
Okay.
So it's just the mental part on doing the swearing. It's just the mental part, knowing that you're gonna disconnect, and it's hard. It's very hard for me at that age because I had a lot of stuff. I had a house, I had a career. With the career, they were kind of just like letting me take that leave off because it's government, so it's kind of connected.
I'll ask you. So there's a mental disconnect. Tell me about that process.
Yeah, that I was saying I had to get a mental disconnect just because I had so much going on for me. Like at my age, I had already I had the house, I had the career. I was leaving stuff behind, like compared to like if I was doing it at 18, like getting out of high school, for example, then I could have just been going to a whole new world, like, being in different adventures and
Exploring the world.
exploring different cities,
Exploring the
being
world.
in a boat and stuff like that. Like it would have been exciting, but for me, it was like dreading. It was like I can't wait to get this out of the way, and not to mention most of the people I was going in with, other than like 6 like Navy SEALs that were like out of Ukraine or Russia or something like that were in their late 30s. Everybody else was like a kid, and they looked like kids.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what was the the disconnect comes, that's something that obviously is necessary because you have to focus on the task at hand, which I'm guessing is a lot of physical, or things that are physically demanding. What was that like, going through that, in your late 30s?
It was definitely wild. It was like I knew boot camp, Navy boot camp, was gonna be something difficult. I seen videos, I saw like a documentary, so I knew it wasn't gonna be like a walk in the park. And at my age, I knew it was gonna be a young man's game, but living it, it's definitely a young man's game. And I didn't go in the best shape possible. I was like, I was 196 pounds, something like that. I was like way over my limit, like to the point where like they measured me and they put me on the obese side.
On the B side, what is that?
Obese.
OB side. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, to the Navy, it's like, to the Navy, like when you're above a certain level, you're obese.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the whole military.
So what is it, like a special treatment for the obese people, or is it they throw you in line with the rest of the guy?
Hell no, they treat you like shit.
They're about to scare people away.
You think there was like a certain level of hazing or bullying, like especially directed towards you because of your age, of the age difference? Like, did the kids bully you, in other words?
So right off the bat, for like a couple months, they, at least the people that I was with or around, they didn't know that I was that old until I actually started talking to them and told them, hey, I'm in my late 30s.
Put some respect on my name.
And
I could be your dad.
Literally.
I wasn't acting like that. Like I got to know them on a personal level. Like they had hopes and dreams and stuff like that. Everything kind of how I was when I was a kid.
Right.
Kind of how I see my kids like be. So
Naive.
not well, some of them were very soft. You know who you are.
Damn, shots fired. Shots fired.
Okay, so tell us the difference between the obese workout and the regular boot camp.
It wasn't different. They just had you like on a separate watch, where the RDCs or the MTIs and in other branches, they would make you or scream at you more. Like they will, like if you're in a
They will
room,
bully you.
They will
Say
if you were
it.
in a room full of
You got bullied.
if that's what you want to call it, but I mean, it's not, like, that's kind of their job. So yeah, it's like if you're in a room full of a lot of people doing like push-ups, they focus on the people that were like either
The fat guys, but
more obese or because for them they go on a certain record, like they gotta hit certain stats. So if a lot of people start failing those stats, like the push-ups or planks or running, then it goes back on them. And obviously they care about how they look, so they care about their stats, that golden cookie that they get. So that's what they care about. So they focus definitely a lot on the people that were failing on that.
So how are you gonna lose weight if they're giving you cookies?
I didn't say they were giving me cookies.
You said something about a golden cookie.
Yeah, the RDCs, they will get a golden cookie for a certain accomplishment. It's like a pin or like something they wear in the
So they help you lose weight and then they give you a cookie.
okay, so they get like a little pin, bro, on their shirt. But anyway,
bro, you sound worried, bro. You're not going. You didn't get accepted, dog.
hey, for those who don't know,
You didn't make it, dog. You didn't make it.
I don't sound worried. I just want to get the story true because I'm anxious to hear it, because I actually tried joining the military and I tried hard. My process took almost 3 years. I did the ASVAB test twice and the METS once. So for me, it was different. For me, I went and then they did like a pre-ASVAB. And then they're like, oh, can you go take the actual test? So they gave me a whole week. And I was like, sure. So I went and I took the test. Then they asked for all my paperwork, all my medical, my criminal, my everything, right? And then they scheduled a MET. So I went and I took the MET, right? I went in there, I did the MET, blah, 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 blah. Everything came out right except for a tattoo that I removed. They wanted paperwork that showed that I removed the tattoo. Took that one back. I had to take paperwork after paperwork after paperwork for all, because I have a lot of traffic citations. So out of all those traffic citations, I had to take paperwork. And I guess they have a scoreboard that you can only have like so many of it to the point where you get disqualified. Like I guess each citation gives you like 2 points, 3 points, whatever amount of points. I don't know how their board works. But when you get past like 20 points, then you get disqualified. They can waive it, but they have to do a waiver for each one of them, right? And then I had an occasion when I was like 20 years old where I literally got like 17 citations. It was like driving, whatever, all traffic citations, right?
Yeah.
So they disqualified me. They say, unfortunately, they couldn't do it. Man, shout out to my recruiter, man. That guy did a lot of paperwork to try to get me in.
Damn, they're that desperate.
He did a lot, bro. A lot of the other guys would have just threw me out. But time went by.
Some guys did throw you out.
I tried to join the military at 18, and they kicked me out. I tried to join the military at 25, and I got in a fight with that recruiter guy right there, like an argument. And then finally, the last one actually like took me in and did the whole process. But they disqualified me, right, because of my charges. So I waited like almost 2 years, and I got a call, and they're like, we could get you in. And then that's when it started all over again. So yes, bro, I want to hear the fucking story.
I mean, it was a long process. Look, I know you guys out there, you guys look at Pacheco and you guys, they'll take anybody. My carnal is perfect proof that they won't. You know what I mean? It's like not everybody makes the cut. You know what I mean?
Not everybody makes the cut.
So you should be proud of yourself, bro, is what I'm saying. You know, it's like you made the cut, you're old, you know, it's like nobody else wanted you. I mean, no. I mean, that just goes to show, bro, that, you know, we're going to lose World War III, bro, because if they're taking... No, I'm just...
Anyway, so I do want to know, when you're in boot camp and you're overweight, because I was a little bit overweight too. I was right at my passing point in my meds. When they called me back the second time, I was out of my passing point. So I was trying to get everything there before my meds expired, because the meds were only good for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I was expiring like in 5 weeks from the day they called me. And then they couldn't get the waiver, and I had to do my Mets again. And then, bam, I had to lose all this weight to be able to pass. I had to lose all this weight to be able to pass my Mets, and that shit was just not gonna happen. At least not in that time. Right now, I could probably go, but I still don't think I'm within the weight. So that's why I'm asking. When you're at that limit weight, and then they get the obese people, and then they get the regular people, and then you guys are running. And the fat guys stay behind, and then they make the fit guys run double now, or they just let the other guys rest and the fat boy keep running.
No, you do your laps during a certain time, but that's only like when you're practicing for the actual testing laps. I think what the hell what were they called? Because there's some that you actually do test for. So when you do PT, physical training, you're actually getting physically trained throughout that time for your actual main test, and there's 2 of them, and they are required for you to pass boot camp. So when you're just like doing physical training, you're just, if the guys that run faster, they just keep running, or whatever time we're there to run. But on the actual test, you do it within a certain amount of time. I think the alpha test, the alpha, you gotta finish it within 12 minutes, 5 seconds, something like that.
A mile?
Underneath, a mile and a half.
Mile and a half.
So when you finish your mile and a half, whatever time you finish it in 9 minutes, then you're out. But there was another guy that was 39 years old, and he was pretty beast.
Why you look at me when you said that?
I looked over there in the camera. So that guy, he ran. Like, it didn't matter. Like, that guy, they just kept him running. The RDCs were running behind him, yelling at him. Like, they weren't yelling good shit either. They weren't yelling like, come on, let's do this. No, it wasn't like that. It was
like, come on, you fat lard. Remember those cheeseburgers you had in high school? Well, you need to burn them today.
I love it when they would be like, you're going to pay for all that weight. You're going to pay for all those calories. You're going to pay me what you owe. I fucking love that.
So you like it rough. You like that motivates you.
Not to me. I didn't like it when they like told me.
You like seeing the other
you like seeing other people get degraded. That makes you feel good about yourself.
You know what I like?
Is that what they teach you in the Navy?
No.
What happened to camaraderie?
I do not.
What happened to brotherhood, bro?
I just want to say I do not represent the Department of Defense in any way.
You were supposed to say that in the beginning.
Let's put this in the beginning.
Okay. What exactly does that mean?
Anyways, what was the toughest part in the
Wait a minute. What does that mean that you don't represent? What does that mean?
Like whatever.
He's speaking for himself and not for the United States military.
Exactly. I wish you would let our guests answer the question.
I just want to make sure you understand it, bro.
I'm not hired by the military to represent them in any way. I'm not associated in any way to represent the Navy or any branch of the military.
Oh, okay. So you're here representing
I'm just like
yourself,
just
not any government entity. You're not here on the behalf of Uncle Sam.
No, I'm just like...
Trump didn't send you?
No.
Elon Musk is not waiting outside?
No, I do have a Tesla.
I wish, though.
You have a Tesla?
I do.
That's cool. Anyways, what happened?
Anyways.
Also, I do not know him personally. I just heard about him.
Known him all my life. We go back like babies with pacifiers.
Jesus.
We used to change each other's diapers. Anyway.
That's wild.
Anyways, bro, what was the toughest part at boot camp, man? Come on. Or what's the crazy experience you lived in there while you were in there?
There was a lot. I mean, I was there 2 months and a half. So it was a lot of like crazy shit that happened. Definitely for me, like the physical aspect of it, like the mental part, I had it down. I saw a lot of mainly kids break down, just start faking shit to like get the fuck out of the boot camp. Oh, my knee hurts, this or whatever. Like, oh, I had asthma, I forgot to disclose or whatever the fuck. They
actually did that?
They were just, there was a guy that actually got kicked out for, there's something was found on his record for, I guess he had got arrested and they gave him an option to join the military or go to jail. Chose go to jail. Sorry, he chose to go to the military. He was in the military and he tested negative on his drug test for whatever.
Oh.
So that's good, right? When you test negative?
Sorry, test positive.
You're good.
You test
Good eye, bro.
okay.
Good eye, bro.
At least
Karate
you're productive
that.
in this.
I understood what he said, but I didn't, I didn't karate.
I just wanted to be clear for the audience. You know what I mean? We might understand, but it's like we got people to think of out there, bro, in YouTube land.
He tested positive.
You'll be a great recruiter, bro.
I know, right? Yeah. They'll drink all my Kool-Aid, bro.
Damn.
Speaking of drinking Kool-Aid, so you said mentally you were strong, right? Like you knew that anything that they threw at you, you were gonna be able to take on, right? My question is, do you feel more patriotic now as somebody? I mean, you're not here, like you say, you're not here representing, any government entity, but you are considered somebody, that represents, or you're a line of defense at least. So do you feel more patriotic now? Were you already patriotic? What's your mindset as far as how you feel about the country before and after joining?
I was patriotic no matter what. I always loved the United States. Like all the opportunities that I've gotten here, I've been either extremely lucky, and I've done really good here. I am Mexican. I am very Mexican, patriotic as a Mexican.
I thought you were German descent.
No, I am 100% Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Mayan. But
It was the blonde hair and the blue eyes, bro. My bad.
Yeah, it throws you off sometimes.
Yeah.
But definitely being an American always I was always patriotic towards that. That didn't change. Didn't make me more patriotic.
Right. So the reason why I'm asking you this is because there is people that go in maybe looking at just the benefits, right? Maybe looking at what they can get out of it. But once they're in there, their mindset, changes. You know what I mean? They do, to put it in a way, they do drink the Kool-Aid, and they become, it's like these diehard, patriots. Which, I mean, that's what you want from a soldier. You know what I mean? It's like, so if
there's some people that lean more towards conspiracy theory. We got a few friends in common that actually...
We did discuss that. There was definitely a chief that was definitely discussing that, saying that he sees a lot of less people joining for the patriotic sense, and now for the personal benefits that you get from the military. So there's a lot more people joining for their own personal benefit than for patriotics, and that's not something that back then when he joined was the case. So that's a change that he saw. But they definitely mold you into being patriotic. If you go in there as an 18-year-old, you're very moldable. You're very
right.
It's a young mind, and they very much mold you into being a good soldier. Like wherever you go, you want to be good at your job.
Absolutely.
You like you go to McDonald's, you want to see that person doing a good job, no matter whatever job it is. So to be a good sailor, a good soldier, obviously you have to believe in what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, to be good at anything, you have to be. I mean, some of your of you has to go into it, right? Like, it's like I think no matter what you do, you should be proud of it.
Well, no matter what you do, you should always do your best.
Right.
Right. So that's why I'm so curious to hear his story. Because he actually pulled through it. So he actually went. He did all his paperwork. He got sworn in. He went through boot camp. He went through school. He got his job, and now he's working for the military, and he started at a late age.
Who we talking about?
Him.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of us that are 35, 36, 37, 40 years old thinking or considering the military. And they're probably scared of the process, or they probably don't know what step to take. And all it is just going in there, surrender your paperwork, and push it as far as you can go, like Pacheco did. And then, would you say you regret it today? No. So you think it was a good move, even though you were scared to get sent out, but now that you went through the whole process and you're back at home or you're stationed wherever you're stationed at, you say you don't regret it no more, right? So you think it was a good move.
I was talking to my son earlier about this, and he asked me, if you were to do it all over again, would you do it? And I told him yes. I definitely would do it all over again.
Why then?
I think it's a good experience to just have like everything that you learn. Like it's better if you do it definitely when you're young, when you're coming out of high school or you're in your early 20s or whatever. Definitely way better to do it then, because boot camp not only teaches you a lot of life situations, and you get a lot of training, you get physically fit, but
Just the discipline of it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You get to do your bed in the morning.
you have to do the bed like I remember Reveille. So when they would come in, it would be 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person, there was 100 of us. Every single person had to have their beds made, uniform of the day. Every single day was a different uniform, or a different type of way you could wear your uniform, sleeves up, sleeves down, whatever the case. They call tennis shoes go fasters, so either go fasters or boots on, whatever. Depending what it was, your different uniform of the day, you had to be on your toe line, which was right where your bunk was, like at 6 a.m. ready. Your bed had to be like made perfectly in very low light. So they would inspect that, and you definitely would get punished if you messed it up. But
What was some of the punishment you guys saw in there?
definitely exercise. It's called
Close your eyes and
IT,
open your mouth.
Intense training. It's called IT. Intense training. So they'll pull out a red card.
Yes. My bad.
The red card, and then where will they put it?
What do you mean where do we put it?
The card. Concentrate, fool. Fuck. You attention. 10 hot. Whatever. Fuck.
The fuck?
Do you guys remember that movie, man, where that kid literally like committed suicide in boot camp? What was the name of it?
Oh, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, man.
Gomer Pyle. You guys don't watch that shit?
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I can't remember what the hell it was about. I mean, I know it was about.
How tall are you?
Shorter than you.
I didn't know shit could be piled up that high. Remember that part? Anyways, so they pull out a card. Te sacan la roca. They get you out of there.
Literally. Well, now they want to get you out. That they pull out you get IT. They'll tell you, all right, you got 30 seconds to hydrate. Everybody had a hydration tool, which was basically a water bottle. They call it a hydration tool. It was the same fucking water bottle with your name on it. And
Greatest nation in the world.
It always had to be full. Or like if it was like halfway, it was empty. So they will tell you hydrate. So you go and have to rush for 30 seconds and hydrate as much as possible because you were gonna get a beating. So, and a beating would mean like you go down. They will go down the
That's what I'm saying.
card. And the card
Close
was
your eyes,
like,
open your mouth.
not that.
Oh, where would you go down?
I went to the military. I don't know what the hell you've been thinking about.
Oh,
So
the Navy, right?
the Navy.
Yeah.
Yo, was a monaguillo, bro.
Oh, that's why. You Catholic?
Sometimes.
Saturdays,
Sundays.
Saturday nights,
Sundays.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay.
Morning. Before Mass.
That's weird.
The father got to go in there in a good mood.
Jesus.
He actually
If
has a
mass-
joke on it on the channel.
If Mass is boring, bro, the altar boy didn't do his job. Anyways, we're talking about you.
Yeah. So they would go down the list in the card. One of the things was 8 counts. There's a lot of difficult exercises to be doing on the fucking floor, hard fucking floor. There's one that you had to be on your side and have your legs up and then still like do some kind of exercise. I forgot what that one was called. But
This is still the Navy, right?
yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you about the damn card, the red card. I'm working off of memory, but every time you say something stupid, it throws me off because I'm like tapping into my memory. So boot camp is like a very faint memory now to me. Like,
Oh, is it really?
yeah, it is a lot. It's I talked to a lot of people that I graduated boot camp with, and it's like that for them too. I don't know if it's like that for everyone.
You know what? There's an actual study on that, and that's because it's so hard. So you normally tend to erase
Yeah.
all the bad experiences in your mind, bro, subconsciously. So you tend to not remember them, and it's like a body protection.
In other words, anything could have happened and you just don't remember.
I'm trying to remember a lot of stuff, but you just like say some dumb shit that it's just like, man, shut the fuck up.
You're getting in math, bro.
I'm a product of my environment, bro. I don't know about you. You know, this is. I am a product of the nation that you swore to defend, and it's because of people like you that I enjoy these freedoms, and I want to thank you for that sincerely. But you can't be mad at me for expressing myself with those freedoms.
What does that
You
mean?
allow
Freedom of
me.
speech?
Yeah. You allow me to express myself. Hardworking people like you.
You're making me double guess what I'm fighting for right now. Like,
You like conquer your states.
right?
Anyways,
Every
bro,
time-
anything you want to share?
Yeah, like you say, like you erase bad memories. I think that's why I erased this motherfucker out of my memory.
That's why you don't remember that we grew up together. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically everything I'm saying about boot camp is like a faint memory. So I'm really, really tapping into like kind of like and think about. I know the running situation for me was one of the most mentally. I told you I was there. I was locked in, but physically, I didn't go in at my best physical shape. I was probably at my worst.
Right.
I didn't really feel I was gonna make it, and right off the bat, like it happened. It didn't. I didn't feel I was gonna make it, and I made it. So the running part, the stamina part, was definitely the worst for me. The running. I was definitely one of the kids. Well, one of the guys that was with the fat kids.
So
Right.
I mean, guessing from how you look now, like keeping up with that physical training is not something that's mandatory, huh?
It is mandatory. Like even in A school after boot camp, you would do 3 days a week of physical training, PT, and it is mandatory to be doing your PTs. You have to stay in shape. Goes in your evals. You get to get promoted. You have to pass these tests. Like when you go through this, like every year, you have to like have your evals done. Physical is definitely a big part of getting promoted and, you know, doing stuff within your job and your rate. It's very important no matter what. Even though you do see some overweight, higher end military personnel, but maybe they're at their cap. I don't know. But as of right now, everything I experienced, like you do have to keep up with your physical fitness.
Pacheco, we want to thank you for taking your time and coming over here and explaining a little bit what it's like, you know, to be in the military at your late 30s. But, you know, for all you guys out there, you know, if you're hitting 40 and you're considering the military, well, today is the day. This is your sign. Take your paperwork and see how far you guys can push. You know, I'm Faraón. This is Paradise. My brother Grizzly. And our guest Pacheco. Grizzly.
Mi gente, como siempre, ha sido un gusto. Thank you, Pacheco, for joining us. Thank you for putting up with me and all my bullshit. You know I love you, bro. Ahí estamos. Ya saben, mi gente, with us, follow roll of the dice.
Thank you, guys.